Early thoughts on Dragon Age Veilborn.
Hi, everybody. Ko here with a very early quick thoughts video on Dragon Age Veilguard. So I played this game now for about 8 hours.
It's about the same as me.
The first 2 hours of the stream were sponsored. And I now have a pretty good idea about my initial feelings of this game. Now, I do need to say that I know this game is long, and I don't know how I'm going to feel at the end of it. So we will most likely make another thoughts video when I am done.
That's 2 reacts.
I'm getting the question all the time. What do I think of this game? Make a quick video giving you my thoughts.
Okay.
Dragon Age Veilguard is
Please say it's a return to form.
fine.
What?
It's fine.
It's pretty. It runs well. The
Can't relate.
combat is engaging.
He says he can't relate because when Asmon was actually playing it, 'cause I watched a little bit of Asmon playing it, and he was having a lot of stutters. I don't know if it was frames was dropping or something. It was like some kind of crazy lag he was experiencing. Now, I don't know if it was because he was streaming at the same time, but then again, he does have a 4090 GPU, so I don't see any reason as to why he would be having issues. He has a very powerful computer overall, outside of the GPU, but he was having issues with the quality of the game, like being smooth.
The overall story arc at this point, as a Dragon Age fan, I am really enjoying.
Okay.
Personally, as somebody who came into the game, like, I've never played Dragon Age before.
Me neither.
This is my first game in the series. I thought it sucked. It wasn't bad. But, like, it wasn't terrible, but, like, it just kind of is not really that good.
The sound design is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And if you take it,
I mean, I think it's fair for him to feel that way because he said it sucks to him. But how many Dragon Age games have there been? I've heard of Dragon Age before. I remember the last one I heard of was Inquisition. I never played it, but I'm thinking maybe he hopped in not understanding the pieces of lore that may have been sprinkled throughout this game that is related to whatever happened in the past. He's not getting that. He's not getting the member berries. You know what I mean? Like, oh, remember this? Remember this character? Remember that? Remember this? Yeah, we're bringing it back, or we're saying something that relates back to that right now. Like, he's not getting that. And an example of how I can relate to that, I just beat God of War, 2018 God of War. I just beat it, like, probably like a month or two ago. I just beat that game. I just started playing it this summer for the first time, and I ended it. And the gameplay was cool. The story wasn't bad. It was a cool story. But because I never played any of the God of War games, like I never played 1, 2, 3, or 4. All of everything that happened in God of War 2018, as far as like the member berries, like for example, when you have to go back to get the Chaos Blades, like that whole moment of going back to get the Chaos Blades and talking to Athena, like that didn't do nothing for me, because I'm like, why is this such a big scene? Why is this such a long scene? Who is this ghost that's talking to me on a boat? Like, what's her? Because I don't know the lore. So even though I enjoyed what I played as far as God of War, I don't feel like I would have missed out on anything if I didn't play it. Does that make sense? And it's not because the game is bad. It's because I wasn't there from the start. So I think that's what he is feeling with Dragon Age, because he didn't play any of the other Dragon Age games. So whatever story you're telling him right now, it's not really registering. You know, it's not hitting him in the feels.
Exactly for what it is fine. Now, when I say fine, that means some parts of it are good, or even
that's true. That part of it, I think that's true. Because, like, okay, we say it's a 6. Would you hook up with a 6, guys? Who would hook up with a 6?
I mean, 6 is above average. 6 is cute.
They're fine, right?
5 is average. 6 is cute.
There it is.
You know?
Above good, above average.
It's
In some
fine.
cases, excellent. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. And it actually runs really well. The voice acting also. The voice acting is pretty great. In most cases. Like, most characters, I love hearing.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean, so he's I think a lot of you guys are confusing two different things. He's talking about voice acting. You're probably thinking of dialogue. I think the voice acting itself is like fine. I don't like the dialogue at all, but I think the voice acting itself, the way that the words are said, is pretty good. Sure, that's all right.
Hearing them. In fact, most characters, the delivery is so good that sometimes it can trump the part that I don't like, which I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
But the big thing about this game that is I don't want to say grating, but it's wearing on me. And the big thing about this game that's wearing on me a little bit is the quality of the writing. And when I say quality of the writing, I don't mean the overall story, but I mean the dialogue between the characters.
So fucking cringe.
What?
Like, so I was doing like the what's the word for it? Like the reputation quest line for Hulkenberg in Metaphor. And then the day after that I played Dragon Age. And it was like going from eating a Wagyu steak to eating a wheelbarrow full of dicks. It really was bad.
I don't have nothing to say to that. I never played that Metaphor game.
It's incredibly unnatural, it's very forced, and it's very basic. And where in previous games I would look forward to characters talking to each other or telling me bits about the world, I kind of dread when it happens in this game because it feels so homogenized, basic, and frankly like I'm being talked to like a child.
This is true. So this is the way that like I know that the game doesn't respect your intelligence and treats you like a retard. The fact that I can figure out the puzzles. Come on.
What? Are you trying to say you bad at puzzles?
There's no way that should have happened.
It is, they're constantly just, they're not adding to the scenes when they talk. They're making
Fucking so true. A rock falls down. Well, that happened. Right? The fuck out of here.
sure you know what's going on. They're making sure you understand it. It's basic dialogue designed to deliver information, not to deliver an immersive narrative experience.
It's crazy how, you know what, you want to know two examples that I think do this so much better? I think Throne and Liberty really does a great job with this, with having the narrator paraphrase everything.
Wait. You know what I'm thinking? Yo, he said that it makes him feel like they're talking to him like a child. And the way I'm looking at it is like, you know, when we were kids, let's say if we were kids and we were playing this game and it talked to us like we was a child, obviously we're a child, so we're not going to be thinking, hey, it's talking to me like I'm a child. We're just going to be thinking, hey, it's talking to me in a way that I can understand what's happening, and you would appreciate it. But I guess as you get more life experience, you get smarter, you become older, more mature, you're able to comprehend situations easier without an actual explanation. You can just comprehend based off of the vibe or whatever you're seeing, just like the energy of whatever's happening. Like, you kind of appreciate the kind of vagueness of just what's happening, and being able to just understand what's happening just off of how you're experiencing it. So when they talk to you the same way they talked to you when you was a child, now you're looking at it as like, yo, why you talking to me like I'm a child? Like, you expect the game, like the way the game communicates, to grow with you. But you gotta remember, there's kids that's coming into this game the same way how you came into gaming, And those kids that are coming into gaming, they might not have the same life experience as you do, possibly, to be able to catch on to the little nuances that you would like for it to be, I guess, how you would like for it to be fed to you. You don't want it to be spoon fed. You just want them to just put the plate on the table in front of you, if that makes sense. But there's kids that's coming into this game, coming into this genre, that needs to be spoon fed, I guess. But you liked it when you was a kid, but now you too grown. You don't want them. You don't want them putting the spoon in your mouth. You just want them to just give you the food. So I feel like because we're adults, we kind of don't. We don't view the way we're being fed information the same anymore, because now we're adults. But when we was kids, it was cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, are they bad for not growing with us, or are we just bad because we the ones that grew out of it? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Thing that happens in quests. And I think also, you know, whenever you're moving around in the Gauntlet Runner in Metaphor, where like the narrator there kind of tells you like what you're doing and where you're going, like I think that like there's just so many use cases that are, again, guys, I'm not allowed to play Baldur's Gate 3 until I play every single other turn-based game that's ever been created. And so I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet. I'm working through Metaphor, then we're going to have to do a bunch of other ones. But the fact is that I don't know. I think that the dialogue is just, there are a lot of use cases where dialogue is great. And I just think that Dragon Age Veilguard, the dialogue, in my opinion, is the weakest part of the entire game. If I was to say, what's the worst part of the game? The dialogue.
I think that's one of the biggest problems with this game. The dialogue in this game is not immersive dialogue. It is vehicular dialogue. And that is the term that I would use for Dragon Age Veilguard. It is not Baldur's Gate 3. It is not Cyberpunk. It is not writing to make you feel like you're in the world. It is...
That's a really good way of saying it. It's not immersive writing. I completely agree with that perspective. That's really smart. Yeah.
Writing to project you forward or make sure you know what you need to continue on. It feels like tutorial writing. It feels like it's not there to add. It's there to confirm that you know what's going on.
You're a good boy.
And that works in some games. That's okay in some games. But this is an immersive, large role-playing game. You are playing...
Well, and do you see how kind of like this problem... So like, it's like a weird thing where the meta level problem of talking down to the player. Let me go ahead and just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see everything. This is a problem that manifests itself in multiple ways. And for example, it manifests itself in the way of annoying dialogue that, you know, like basically what Ko is saying. I'm just going to say that. And then it also manifests itself in talking about social issues. And they both come from the same tree of talking down to the player. And I think this is where the problem is with a lot of these games, is that the games that try to ham-fist in ideology, oftentimes that is a mining canary for a deeper problem with the writing. And that deeper problem is not the social issues, it's what that infers from the rest of the story and how that type of writing will manifest itself in storytelling on a macro level for the whole game. You see kind of where I'm coming from here? Yeah. It's just a visualization.
And granted, you could say it's an action role-playing game, but still, you are a person, and you need to be treated as that role. But the dialogue is not treating us as Rook, the leader of the resistance.
Ooh.
I'm not being talked to like an adult who's leading people. I'm being talked to like I'm a kid that needs to have his hand held through every area. And that...
Do you remember? Hey, stupid. Hey, do you remember? So there's a block, and then you have to put the block in the hole that's the same size as the block. Hey, remember this? Remember? Hey, dumbass. Do you remember whenever you had to do this before? You got to do it again. Hey, look. Hey, the block's over here. You should use it on the hole over there. Why don't you pick the block up? Hey, listen.
I never get to play that role. So that's where the big thing is with this game.
No,
I feel like they've over-gamed it. And by over-gaming it, by making the dialogue so vehicular, they have significantly reduced all the stuff that I
immersion.
feel a lot of us love in these games. Which
No,
is
bro, like Cyberpunk. Like I was playing Cyberpunk and I was in deep because it had so much vocabulary and language that provided a perspective of escapism. And I think that games can do that. They can create that escapism, and creating a lot of like modern language. Like Cyberpunk had modern language, but it had like, you know, like future language,
Yeah,
like all the
gonk.
like weird vocabulary.
Gonk and
getting
Chooms.
lost in them. We love to get
Choom, yeah.
lost in these games. I want
Yeah.
to be Rook,
Chrome,
but I can't
yeah.
be Rook. When I pull up to a
Eddies,
dock and I get 3 sentences from a
gonk.
person explaining what a dock is and why there should be boats there and they're not. Like, that's...
I'm actually playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now. Like, the first time I tried to play it was when it first came out. Played it for like maybe 2 hours. I couldn't get through it. My game was very, very bugged and bad. And I just started getting back into it like a month ago, I would say. And I'm really, really enjoying it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Game looks beautiful and it runs really, really well. And yeah, I'm really enjoying what I'm playing so far.
Oh, wow, there's nobody here. It's market day and everybody's gone. What? I think there's something wrong.
And there's that kind of stuff all over the place, where it's just like obvious stuff, obvious things looking around. And most importantly, it's devoid of that dialogue that like adds to the region. You know, it's one thing to pull up to an area and have the person say, oh, it's a dock. There should be boats here, and it's empty. And it's another thing to pull up and be like, oh, it's this dock. I was here 4 years ago. It was packed with people. I had a shop over there, and I remember this flooding with areas, and now I can't believe it's this empty. Like, one of those is a character expressing emotion over something they lost. The other is delivering information. Like,
The other is fulfilling a word count requirement before you turn in your essay in 7th grade. That's what it is.
looked it up on Wikipedia. So it's weird. It's weird. So
Okay.
Yeah.
it's and that happens all the time where I feel like I'm being educated or told. And there's
Okay.
I got educated yesterday. Remember that? By the mirror? I got re-educated. Yeah.
For the record, there's this other scene in the game that I've seen but I haven't encountered yet. And I'm not going to talk about the scene, but what I will say is when I saw that scene, the internet is exploding over the content of the scene. I watched that scene and all I could think of is, screw the content of the scene. I feel like I'm watching a Dare commercial in middle school. Like, I felt like
Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm doing push-ups because I misgendered you. I used the wrong pronouns. Oh, my God.
I was sitting in the audience at middle school watching a bunch of adults do a performance that was supposed to tell me how to feel about something.
Yeah, the weird thing is that, I don't know if you guys had the same thing in school, like back in the 90s, but man, there's nothing that made me want to try drugs more than watching the commercials that they had on not to try drugs. Man, those were fucking terrible, huh?
Screw whatever it is I'm supposed to feel about.
Yeah.
The whole framework of that is just uncomfortable. Like, that's not why we play games. That's not like forget the message.
Yeah.
But it's like that's not it. So anyway, I know this got a little ranty, but it's really hard.
It's patronizing the player and talking down to the player. That's the root of the issue, and patronizing players on social issues is simply a branch.
Take a game like this seriously when we live in a world of Baldur's Gate 3s and Cyberpunks.
Yeah.
It's really tough when there's this much of a schism where it's like where some games do it so well and then other games just don't. And I do need to point out at this point, we're talking about one facet of Veilguard. I know you guys are probably going like, "Oh, Co hates Dragon Age Veilguard. This is terrible." Blah, blah, blah. But no, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this one part of Veilguard is so bad that it kind of drags down the other parts. And
Lost Ark did that. I have never seen a game with worse dialogue than Lost Ark. And you know what makes it even funnier? The fact that Lost Ark was delayed by Amazon because the dialogue was bad, and they wanted to delay it so they can make the dialogue better. I wonder what it was like before the delay.
and that stinks. And the reason I make videos like this is for a very small chance that one day somebody in a decision point sees a video like this and goes, "Oh, maybe we're better off taking risks instead of homogenizing our product to a broader audience." which is what I feel like is going on in this case. I feel like
I think that's exactly what happens, and he's completely right. And if you look at it from a macro level, I think that the problem is that companies have like these massive budgets for games, and the massive budgets for games make it to where they feel like they're required to hit such a wide audience of players that they end up devaluing and watering down the experience of the game. And it's like, you know, one size fits all is actually one size fits none. I think that's what happens with a lot of these AAA games.
I feel like when
It's
we
safe,
get
yeah.
dialogue like this in games, it's because it's being brought down to such a basic level that everyone will be able to understand it. They don't want to take risks. And
Yeah, like whenever I was playing Metaphor, I was doing Stroll's questline, and I couldn't find a fish vendor. And do you want to know why I couldn't find a fish vendor? It's because I wasn't really paying attention while I was reading the quest, and I was mentally AFK. Now, I found it. I didn't have to look on the Google either. It took me 30 minutes. That would have never happened in Dragon Age Veilguard. They were to say, oh, the fish vendor. Oh, and there'd be like 7 NPCs that you're walking towards. Oh, I sure like eating fish from the fish vendor that's directly to the left of me. Oh, wow, I can't wait to go to the fish vendor that's just a little bit farther next to me. And then there's like, you look at your map and there's an indicator and it says fish vendor. And then your heroes, the companions are like, hey, yeah, I think the fish vendor's just ahead. Keep going in this direction. And then, like, if you get near him, there's like a big indicator over his head, and it's a fucking fish.
Fish.
It's like, hey, you fucking retard. Click on this guy. Fucking moron.
we need to make sure, Dev,
Oh, had it risen.
we don't play games for
We have to
sake.
sever the
We
tail.
don't play games for homogenized dialogue. That is not why we like games.
Yeah.
We like games because they surprise us and they make us think and they give us things we're not expecting and they're interesting because we haven't done them 50 times before.
Yeah.
That's why we like these games. The main story in this game is doing that for me, which is why I'm still playing this game. I'm a huge Dragon Age fan. The main story and the stuff happening in it right now at the 8 to 10 hour mark,
I'm playing it because I still haven't had gay sex in the game yet. But, I mean, everybody has their own reasons, right?
engaged in. I like it. So, like, let's just take that kind of thing and be a little riskier and more interesting with the writing, and this could be a damn decent, like, we could be having a completely different type of video right now. But yeah,
Well,
that's
they're not
kind of
gonna
what we
change
are.
the writing, it's done.
That's my thoughts on this. I'm going to continue playing it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm probably going to focus the main story. Like, I feel weird saying that in a DA game, but the companion quests and stuff in these games, like, we may do some to check them, but I don't know. I don't know what my... all I know for sure is that as of now, I plan on finishing the main story because I do want to see what the main story has to offer. I do love Solus. I love the characters. I want to see what's going to happen to him. But
Is Solus a good character? I think that he is the only character that I would say could be considered as good. I don't find any of the other characters interesting at all. I think Solus is the only character that, at least so far in like my experience in the game, is okay. He used to be. Well, no, that's my opinion, right? Like I think that like compared to all the other characters, he's pretty much the best one. That's my opinion.
It's not like the villain or
Varric? I think Varric is okay. I like Varric, but I think Solus is a more compelling character. Personally.
Yeah, is he like the villain
No,
or
it's
like
not because he's bald. Shut the fuck.
because he's bald?
yeah, that's where we are. So anyway, TLDR.
No.
Thoughts on Dragon Age Veilguard. Some really good parts that are unfortunately obfuscated by some really lackluster parts.
True.
The total package, if you can bear with the bad parts, is not a bad game. But if you are
Yeah.
playing Dragon Age Veilguard,
You gotta eat
for
around
the
the dick.
immersion, for the immersive dialogue, for the same reasons you super enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, you can't hate on someone for not liking this game. Keep that in mind. It's totally valid to not like this game. You don't need to shout people
Oh,
down.
hey. It's totally valid to not like any game, right? Like, if you don't like a game for whatever reason, totally fair. I never was a big fan of Minecraft. I never really liked Minecraft. I acknowledge Minecraft is a generational level incredible game, but I'm just not really a fan.
Yeah, I never got into Minecraft.
Yeah, it's just me.
Like when I look at it, I don't
Follow?
see.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. When I look at it,
Say that.
nothing pulls
But
me
it's
in.
also not valid to say the game is complete garbage. Because there's parts of this game that are actually pretty damn good.
I agree with that. I do not think it is complete garbage. I don't think the game's complete garbage. I think it is slightly above average. It's partial garbage.
So it's a mixed bag. It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
It's again, there's parts that are really good and there are parts that are just really not. But I'd say the overall picture, it's definitely for me so far, it's been worth playing.
Somebody says, what's the last complete garbage game you've played? Star Wars Outlaws.
Damn.
Literal piece of shit.
Damn.
Ooh, it was so bad. It was such a bad game. Like, Zenless Zone Zero put Star Wars Outlaws into fucking dirt. At least you could jerk off to Zenless Zone Zero. Star Wars Outlaws, I think if you do that, you get banned. Fuck no. Game sucks dick. I remember after I played Star Wars Outlaws, I was sitting outside for like an hour. Like, decompressing. Like, I've watched ISIS executions or cartels where like they behead somebody, and I'm like, ha, wow, that sucks for him. And then I just go about my day, right? I'm like eating ice cream. But like after playing Star Wars Outlaws for 2 hours, I had to recover.
The combated stuff is fun enough to where it's worth playing.
Crazy.
And we'll kind of see if that keeps up all the way to the end. Anyway,
Another suspension?
that's it.
Already?
I hope this helps in what little way. I do want to end this video by saying the best decision that you can make on a game like this is your own. Use this video and many others to educate yourself and inform yourself, and the most importantly,
Just watch gameplay. Watch gameplay, see if it's good. Do that.
streams and make your own opinion. Don't let somebody tell you how this game is.
Yep.
You've never played it.
Show, don't tell.
You don't know.
Look at it.
Don't ever let anyone dictate how you feel about a video game.
Exactly.
Because frankly, that's
Yeah,
not
it's like, what was the Total Biscuit? Do not let a balding middle-aged man on the internet be the gatekeeper of being able to enjoy a video game. Yeah. Fucking true.
fair to you. And you may miss something that you actually might really like.
Yep.
So don't do that. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for watching.
I mean,
I hope this
I
helped
kind
in
of,
the way it
I
might.
feel that way
And,
about
we're gonna keep playing. I'll see you later.
I feel that way about what's that game? Gotham Knights. I don't know how you feel about it, but I remember I think people were saying like, oh, it wasn't really that great of a game. I think it got like a 6 out of 10 from some places or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a freaking blast playing that game. I had so much fun playing Gotham Knights. The story was cool. It was kind of like it just felt like an old school type of game as far as story. It's just like a video game. You know what I mean? And what I really liked about it was like me and one of my boys, we was playing it, and I liked the fact that I can be playing by myself, and then my boy could get home from work, and then he'll just log on PlayStation, whatever. And I see him on PlayStation. I'm like, yo, pull up. I'm out here in these Gotham streets. I'm about to go and I gotta do this mission right here. I'm about to go look for such and such. He's like, I bet. Give me like 10 minutes. And then I'll be in the middle of a mission. I'm in the middle of a mission, like a story mission. And then out of nowhere, my boy pulls up as Robin. He just pulls up out of nowhere. I didn't even notice. Like, I didn't even acknowledge that he logged in and came into my game. He just hopped into my game. He just pulled up. And I just thought that was so dope. Like, Robin just pulled up to help me, and it's my boy. And I hear him on the mic. All right, so what you got to do? I just thought that was so fire, bro. Like that, I felt really, really immersed in Gotham Knights. I felt the immersion, like, really easy. And the 4 characters, to choose your playstyle, you pick whichever fits your playstyle. For me, Batgirl, she fit my playstyle. She was the closest thing to Batman. The way she fought, the way she glided, her gadgets. She was the closest thing to Batman. So I went with her. And also she had like these healing abilities. That was really dope. Oh man, I enjoyed that game so much. I enjoyed it so much and I beat it on the hardest level. The hardest difficulty level. That's how much I enjoyed it.
There it is. There it is. I pretty much agree with everything you said. I personally think that the game, like, dialogue is kind of shit. That's definitely an issue. Inquisition was bland. Veilguard looks even blander. There's the video. Give it a like. Co-Carnage is a fucking legend. Watch what IGN wrote about Dragon's Dogma. I don't know what they said. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. I'd have to take... somebody got to link it to me, something like that. 7.5. I think the game is a solid fucking 6 right now. It's a solid 6. I'm going to play a little bit more of it in a little while today, guys. We're going to take a look a little bit more at it. After today, I'm going to be real. There are so many other games coming out. I'm not really going to have time to keep playing it. That's just the truth. Like... we got so much else going on. Like, Monster Hunter Wilds beta comes out. We're going to play that tomorrow. Ashes of Creation. We've got the fucking election coming out. Is coming out is a good way to say that? Is it like the election release?
Wait, the Monster Hunter
You know,
Wilds
and then,
beta?
like, so, yeah, we have the election release,
the
and
deal
then we
with
also
that?
get the Donald Trump
Yo,
insurrection
what's
DLC if he loses.
What's the deal with the beta
And so,
for Monster
yeah,
Hunter
I mean,
Wilds?
and then, oh yeah, PoE 2 is coming out, right? And then there's a bunch of other games that I'm gonna play. Please skip election. Fuck no, I'm not gonna. Please skip the election. No, I'm not gonna skip the fucking election. That's like driving home from work and not going to McDonald's. Absolutely, we're going to McDonald's. What the fuck are you talking about? Game Awards, yeah, there's plenty of stuff going on, man. Ban that guy. You're right. Coming out, yeah, we've got a lot of games coming out. I'll link you guys the video again, and yeah, I agree with pretty much everything Co's saying here.
I bet.